Well, welcome, Giancarlo Erra, and one of my favorite artists. Together with Tim Bonus, they were going to be together. We're hoping Tim will join us here to talk about the 10th anniversary of their album, Memories of Machines, Warm Winter. I want to thank you, Giancarlo, for taking the time to discuss this monumental event with us at progressiverockcentral.com. And the first question is, how did you guys meet?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that the first contact we had was when I was basically trying to promote the first No Sound album, Soul 29, and I sent a copy to Burning Shed here, asking them what they thought about it. And I received an email from Tim, and that really liked it. And he was just basically telling me things. And yeah, I think that was the first. Basically, when I started with No Sound, and then I started Burning Shed, and Tim replied yes, and basically from there we stayed in contact. And then when it was about the time of Light Dark, the second No Sound album, I don't remember if Tim said that maybe we could do something together, or if I sent him a track and asked him if he wanted to do something together. Anyway, we obviously wanted to try and do something together. And that eventually became, Someone Starts to Fade Away, that was on Light Dark. And then everything started from there. We met, we recorded, and we played a few gigs, and then we started thinking about doing something more, because we both liked what we did with Someone Starts to Fade Away, and that's how our collaboration for this album started. And not long after all of this, I basically, when we were already recording Memories of Machines, I as well moved to England, so we were basically living near each other, and that accelerated obviously finishing the album. And and then from there on we always been in contact, and we lived both in Norwich for several years. Now Tim moved away from Norwich, I'm still in Norwich, and that is how it all started.
All right. Go ahead and talk about this new anniversary package. It is jam-packed with wonderful items. It's going to be released on the 25th of February through Kscope. Yep. And just some of the real quick things: Robert Fripp, Peter Hamill, Julian Reagan, Jim Maltheos, Colin Edwin, Huxflux, Nettermalm, Peter Chilvers, and Oleski, sax, and definitely members of both No Sound and Tim's live band. So go ahead and talk about as much of that as you want to. I know I put a lot out there.
Basically, the album was originally, the original release was called, the project was called Memories of Machines, and the album was called Warm Winter, and we released 10 years ago with Mascot Records. And then basically, after a few years, we bought back the rights for the album, because we wanted to try something different. And during lockdown, the first lockdowns here in the UK, I was suddenly with lots of time available in the studio. And so I basically went back to the original projects and recording sessions that we did with Tim back then, because it was already, we wanted to release again this album, but we didn't want to do like remaster or remix. We wanted to do something different. So I just said to him, look, I will go back to the original recording sessions, and I basically will not start all over again, but we'll start from there. before, because back at the time in 2010, we wanted to have to try a slightly different direction. So we called in Steven Wilson to do some additional production and the mixing of the album for a more rock approach to what was the music. And so we decided for this one, let's go back to what was the original record, what were the original recording sessions. So I spent probably a couple of months at least just going through the original recording sessions, exporting everything from the old computers, importing everything in my new studio. And it was quite interesting to see, obviously after 10 years, to discover again some of the differences or some of the stuff that got changed or got lost in the process, if you want, after it basically went off our own hands. So I really liked it, to be honest. I really liked what was there. So I decided basically to start all over again and just say, okay, these are the recordings. Let's make the album, the new 10 years anniversary. Just let's make it as it was originally intended, in a way. So yeah, I went through all the recording sessions, reinstated what were the instruments and parts, and then basically completely, in some parts it was also arranged differently. So we kept the original arrangements, and yeah, it was all mixed from from the original recording sessions, and mastered. And then we also decided to have there was one outtake that we knew was basically done, but we decided at the time to just leave it out of the album. But because this is a new anniversary edition, we said, well, let's include the outtake, and that is Dreamless Days. And then we also wanted to do, I think actually it was Tim's idea, to make a new recording of Someone Starts to Fade Away, that obviously it eventually went on the No Son album because it was a No Son track, but we said let's record a new version of it that is more like a Tim Bowness Giancarlo Erra version more than a band version. And I had an idea about that, so we added that again as a new, that is the only new track and the only new material that was recorded for this edition. And so yeah, it is basically is a new although it goes back to the original state, but it's a new edition of the album. And yeah, so I also revamped with Carl and Traiter. We revisited the graphics to just make them more, I think probably more Cascope-like. And also we decided that we didn't want really to have a name of the project. We wanted to be like, it is us, it is me and Tim. So, it will be simply called Tim Bowness Giancarlo Erra, or TBGE. And actually the name of the album is going to be Memories of Machines, because it's very interesting. That was our original plan. I mean, the original plan even 10 years ago, it was that one. And then we liked so much Memories of Machines that we decided, now, okay, let's make Memories of Machines the name of the project. So it is an interesting twist, basically. It is a 10 years after, but actually it is a full 10 years before. Let's go back to what it was.
All right. Well, what I was planning to do is just kind of go through the track list. You tell us your memories of each song, and then definitely want to talk about future projects and things that you're doing. So let's start out with the opener, New Memories of Machines. It's short, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think, I don't remember, I have very clear memories of some of the tracks. And as you can imagine, I have absolutely no memory of others. I remember the New Memories of Machines was something that I think, if I remember correctly, has been added, like, not last minute, but it was like, it wasn't like the first track we wrote from the album. I think that it was like a chord progression that I was trying on a very small keyboard. But it was as small as the Mellotron one. So, I was literally just going around, and I really liked it. And I gave it to Tim. And as I with most of the tracks, And I think that is what I really like when we work together. Somehow we kind of resonate with each other in terms of feelings. So I usually start with the music, and maybe while I'm doing the music, or maybe after, and Tim's, it is immediately like in tune with that stuff, with the music. And then he comes up with melodies and vocals that, you know, for me, they're just perfect for that music. And this was one of those things, because, you know, it's a very simple, it is literally just a simple chord progression. And although it's short, I do agree with you. It is a fantastic opener. I do love it. I do love it very much.
All right. How about Before We Fall?
Before We Fall was, I think, one song that I think Together We Change Me Once Again probably was a song that I think I originally wrote for, I don't remember if I wrote it for No Sound or not. I mean, it was one of those band songs. You know, when I write stuff, I always divide it in, I don't know, ambient or electronic, or singer-songwriter or band songs. And this one was one of the band songs. And yeah, with this one, obviously, the presence of Hux was what really, you know, that drove it, because Tim actually was saying, you know, this song needs a bit more of a drive. Let's ask him if he wants to join. And we were just blown away what he did. I mean, I like his drumming. I really love his drumming. Yeah. So that was the highlight. And obviously there is Julian Regan that then added those things. I mean, probably Before We Fall, Together We Change Me Once Again. They are the two tracks that I consider the most accessible of the albums in terms of like classic rock, proper rock band setup.
All right. Beautiful Songs You Should Know. Probably one of my favorites off the album, and Tim just really excelled.
It is one of my favorite songs. I mean, not just one of the favorite songs that I've been involved with, that I wrote. It's just one of my favorite songs in general. You know, I really, really love it. It's, I mean, Beautiful Songs You Should Know is one. I mean, I will say it is a classic. It is a classic acoustic guitar song that I was writing back at the time, and it is still right now. I mean, it's a very typical of me, if you know what I mean. I wouldn't probably write it now because I wrote several songs like that, but Beautiful Songs You Should Know, it is like a very nice, warm acoustic guitar song. And obviously what really, really makes it magic, I think it is the ambient and the chords progression that I made with the music with Marianne's cello. I think that is really what makes this song very special, because it is like basically it is a melody line that goes with the vocals. So there is the vocals melody line, and then there's the cello melodic line. And I think that because the song has two melodic lines going on, I mean, it is just, yeah, for me, it's just basically it's a perfect song. Not because I wrote it. I'm just as a music fan, or for my own music taste, it is a song I would listen to all the time, and probably one of the few that I still keep listening where I was involved, because, you know, I usually don't listen to my own stuff. But yeah, I mean, I agree, it is one of probably my favorite song, together with At the Center of It All, for the album.
All right. And then the title track, Warm Winter.
Yeah, the X title track, the previous title track. Warm Winter. Yeah, Warm Winter is, I mean, actually it's very interesting, because Warm Winter is one of those that is quite different on the original album. It became another one of those more kind of a band track, together with Before We Fall and Change Me Once Again, while originally it was more of a post-rock-ish thing. And in the new edition, it is back to be like a more post-rock-ish thing. So I quite like it. I mean, it is probably the most modern or the most contemporary, because, you know, both me and Tim, we explored post-rock stuff then in the following years. So Warm Winter was a nice anticipation of what was going to come later.
Okay. Lucky you, lucky me.
Well, like you, like me. I mean, for me, this part is very interesting. Also for team, we always talk about it. Basically, there is like a trio. Like when I said, there's Before We Fall and Change Me Once Again that are the more rock band thing. Then there are Lucky You, Lucky Me, Something in Our Lives, and Lost and Found in Digital World. They are the paintings of the album in a way. They're more like a mood in a way than a song. And this is what I love about this album, that somehow we managed the balance between more ethereal songs like You, Like Me, and other more like bold songs. Yeah, I mean, I just remember when I was writing the guitar chords, and this is another one of those that, once we started working together with it, it just came out as it is.
You mentioned the next three in that. Do you want to talk about those? Something?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can. I mean, as I said, they are the paintings of the album. I mean, probably the one that is more maybe original, no, not more original. The one is more peculiar. So the one is a bit more different. It is Lost and Found in the Digital World. Is the one where we have the Robert Fripp with the Flippertronics, and that was very interesting because basically we got from Robert this Flippertronics and to potentially write a song on it. And what I've done, I basically started playing those acoustic guitar chords on the Flippertronics, and it's literally how basically the song started and how it is even now. And then there is the very weird guitar solo at the end. It was very I remember it was quite interesting because I think for that one back then I didn't have a sustainer like I do have now on my guitar, but I wanted to have a sound that was sustained on the guitar. So I still remember that basically what I've done is there was a plugin at the time that was simulating acoustic feedback. So I had my guitar in the computer to use this plugin in real time and the speakers at maximum volume and trying to basically get feedback from this plugin and doing this weird sound. And I still like it today. It's very weird. It's very strange. But I think it's a big part of the character of that of the soul of that song.
Yep, all three of them are just fantastic.
Yeah,
definitely. Well, the whole album, but Schoolyard Ghosts. I think that's.
we have Changed Me Once Again as well. That is Changed Me Once Again. That is in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Of those, that is the full. There is another one of the the band that is very interesting for me, or I like it. Yeah, we were still out. Right, sorry, there was a team. Right, I'll tell you later. Basically, Change Me Once Again is. It was a song that was done for No Sound, and actually it's a song where most of the No Sound band is in there. So it's a song obviously I'm very much linked to because that was the No Sound part of the album. And was I think probably one of my only solos that I've done with a guitar slide probably. But it's probably my third favorite song of the album. There is something about this song that is it is heartwarming and it is kind of light compared to the rest of the album. So I don't know for whatever reason, but I really like the feeling of that song. And then Schoolyard Ghosts, actually it is all the other way around because that is a song that was done with Tim's band. So Change Me Once Again was more the No Sound band, and Schoolyard Ghosts was the one that was Tim's band. And it's probably the more Pink Floyd-ish thing on the album, probably the more prog track on the album. There is a synth solo, lovely track, very, very interesting track as well. And and then there is the closing, what was the original closing track that is at the center of it all, that actually it is probably, with Beautiful Songs You Should Know, it is the favorite song both of me and Tim.
Oh, yeah.
And that was born a bit like New Memories of Machines. So with this very long chords progression that I've done, and I loved it, and Tim loved it so much that we actually decided to just leave it as long as it was. Was very, was brooding and growing and going on and on. And once again, obviously with Tim lyrics, it assumed a fantastic meaning. I really love this song, and then obviously we have Peter Hamill. That was very nice because it is a very mellow song. It's a very melodic song. So there was a danger of creating something that was a bit cheesy, if you want, with the guitars, while Peter Hamill really made, added a proper edge to it with these very weird guitars. I mean, I really loved the work that he's done with the guitars. I really liked it.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then we have for this new reissue we have Dreamless Days, that is an outtake. He's the only full outtake that we got at the time from the album. And probably Dreamless Days together with Someone Starts to Fade Away, it is in a way more contemporary for us because it is more piano driven. In a way, in an interesting way, it's more near to some of the singer-songwriter stuff that Tim has done on his own, and some of my piano songs that I've done recently, either with no sound or with my own solo stuff. But I really like it. I really think, I don't know why we didn't include it originally, probably because of problems of timing of the album. But I'm really happy that now it's out. And then Someone Starts to Fade Away. Obviously, the first track that we worked on with Tim, so has a special meaning for us. And I really like this version because it is a bit more minimal, it's a bit more modern, and it is the only thing that we recorded basically all recently, in 2020. But I really like for it to be on this album as well as on and on the original album where there is Light Dark. This is pretty much what I remember. Track by track.
What sort of changes did Tim envision with adding Schoolyard Ghost to this album? How did you guys change it from sort of a no man song into something a little different?
Oh, but this was obviously, it was before No Man. So basically, the song was a Memories of a Machines, or was our song before it then became. Yeah, before it then became a No Man track. Then I don't know what Tim obviously did, but what I got with Schoolyard Ghost was the original recording that Tim did with his band. So yes. This is actually this one is the first version, if you know what I mean, of what it was. Yeah.
All right. Well, I know. Thank you very much for that. I'm glad we had a chance to talk about that, and can't wait for that to come out here in February. I know you, and we've talked before we started the interview. You are always busy. Well, Tim as well, and it sounds like I already know that No Sound is releasing this night. The live album. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and what you're doing now? And then we'll also talk about the future as well.
Thank you. The live album has been like a bit of a surprise because last year, basically as soon as the lockdowns finished, we were invited to this festival in Italy, and Verona Festival. There's a fantastic festival. Obviously, we were very happy to just be back on stage for such a big festival. And interestingly, obviously, so it was all nice. It was lovely to see the band again after a year. And like a couple of hours before we started playing, we didn't know before, they told us that everything was going to be recorded nicely in multi-track plus videos, and that we could have used that material as we wanted. There was no plan to do like a live album. But then I said, right, okay, so let's see how it goes. and let's see how we can use the material. And to be honest, the gig was such a blast. I mean, after those months, there was such an energy on stage. We enjoyed it really, really, really very much. And the audience enjoyed it as well. I mean, it was like, when you have lots to do, it was brewing, and basically all this stuff exploded on stage. It was absolutely, in terms of feelings, one of the best gigs I've done that I can remember of. So it was very special. And, now with the band, it's like this new formation that we have now. It is a good few years that we play together, and it literally feels like the final formation for No Sound, because there is such a good feeling between all of us, and we're all also very good friends. So it is always a lovely, nice time when we are together. The gig was so good, we liked it so much, that then we decided, all right, okay, we're going to use this material. Sadly, there was a problem with the gig, so I think 4 or 5 tracks in the middle, they weren't recorded because the mixer, the front of house mixer, decided to stop recording. But the guys were, this is why this short, this is why this like 32 minutes. We played longer, but almost half of it got lost. I mean, it happens. But the guys were very quick. So basically, they rerouted everything to this stage mixer. So basically, we have half of the gig was recorded on the front of us, and half of that was recorded on the stage. But eventually we managed to get to 6-7 tracks that are on the album. And so when I went back here, I said, guys, I think that this gig was fantastic. We are definitely going to do a live album. But it was a bit of a last minute decision, so it couldn't be. This is why we decided to produce it ourselves, to release it ourselves on CD, and do like very limited vinyl thing, because as you know, vinyl queue times at the moment, they are completely crazy. So you have to book spaces like 6 months before. And I was thinking, this is a live album, I would rather have it released just a few months after it happened, when it's still fresh for us as well. And it is a nice thing to do, like a live album presenting all the tracks from all the albums that we've done till now, and then next year, that is this year, we will have a new studio album. So it felt like a nice closure. This is the band today, and also now we're working on a new album, and that is what happened. So the album has been out. Now we are releasing videos as well. I mean, half of it is already released on our channel on YouTube, and eventually all of that will be released. All the one that we recorded is going to be released as well as a video. And it is probably the best sounding and the best played live album that we have, even compared to Teide. I mean, the band is on another place at the moment. It is a much more advanced place. So I'm really proud of it. I'm really, really happy about it. And now basically the album has been out. Now in February, 25th of February, the album with Team is going to be out. And basically in the meantime, now up to the summer, my main job in the studio is finishing the new No Sound album. It's all basically written. All the music has been written. Most of the vocals and lyrics has been written as well. Lots of it is already been recorded. There is one last track that actually I wrote recently after I broke my leg. It was very interesting one, and that I've added to the album. There is a potential interesting collaboration I cannot still talk about, but it's going to be I love it. It's going to be very interesting. I'm sure that people will love it. And the plan is to have the new album released by the end of the year, for second half of this year. And it's going to be the new.
I'm sorry. Is there a title yet, or?
No. There's no title. And I mean, there is a working title, but I usually always wait to just have the full vision done, if you know what I mean. But I think that fans is going to be an interesting midway for No Sound. I mean, there will be a lot of elements back into the mix that were not there with Allow Yourself. And at the same time, the album is definitely going into yet another different direction. I mean, it's probably the most free-flowing No Sound album, and definitely the one that has most variety in it. there are some things, you know, even when I was playing to the band, they were saying, really, oh, that's interesting. You know, they were saying, oh, that's something not usual for No Sound. But they were loving it. So we'll see. I'm really, really curious to see what would be the reaction from people.
I'm up for it. Definitely. As usual.
Excellent.
Well, let me ask you this. Are there any anything that you want to discuss that maybe we haven't yet? Hopefully, like you say, we'll maybe get together with Tim and get his perspective, but anything else you wanted to talk about? Anything goes. I mean, you know, No Sound, this album, anything. Go ahead.
No, I mean, something that obviously talking about things with Tim, we also we want to have a follow-up to the previous album. So there is still nothing planned because it depends on, you know, Tim's projects, my projects. But hopefully, my hope is that maybe at the end of this year we will manage to just organize a couple of weeks together to just write the material for the new album. So I mean, our project is, you know, we're not planning to just stop it now. We want to do more of it. It's just about finding the right moment and the right time to do so. No, I mean, to be honest, it's just, I just want to say basically thank you to you and thank you to all the people that keep listening to music and keep buying, you know, physical albums. As we know, it's not easy. It's not been easy for everyone, obviously, but it's not been easy for the music and the entertainment industry in general. I'm always appreciate when I see all the people commenting on socials and, you know, supporting and saying how much they like this music. Or for example, when I released my second solo album, the one that I've done for after the departing of my father, I mean, I received so many emails and messages of people that said, oh, I don't know, it just reminded me when I went through the same thing, or it really helped me healing as well my own loss. And it is just, that is the most incredible to me personally. That is the very reason why I think that music is the most beautiful thing. And I consider myself lucky being able to, you know, make music and share it with people, because when these very deep connections happen, that is when you really, really, really think that you're part of something that is absolutely incredible and special. It's the same when you're on stage, you know, there are these moments on stage where you feel connected with the audience, and that happened on the Uno Festival. And when it's not about live, but it's about studio albums, receiving such comments from people, very personal stories, is such a beautiful thing. And so I just want to say in general, thank you to everyone, you know, to you and to everyone that take the time and take, if you want as well, the effort in the busy life that we all have to still stop and listen to music that is not necessarily entertaining and trying to connect with it. And that is really something special. This is the only thing I wanted to say.
Well, thank you. Really, thank you again for taking this time to talk with us. I'm going to post this here shortly. But again, good luck. I hope all goes well with the re-release. And all of us are anticipating and looking forward to the follow-up. Just, yeah, keep that band alive.
Well, we will, definitely.
Yeah. Thanks again. All right, hold on. I'll stop this and we'll be right back.